The boundaries of the phrase, my house, my rules. How far are you allowed to push that one? G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now if you love today's content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie and get ready for it. It's pretty spicy, this one. Am I the asshole for making my daughter cover up at home? Background info. I, 58 female, have a daughter, 22 female. I'm very anti-tattoo, and my daughter is very aware of this. Hold up, Jesus is knocking at the door, he's got to make sure that no one has a tattoo inside. You're being sent straight to hell if you have one. When she left to go to college, I told her that as long as I was paying for her school, she was not allowed to get a tattoo. Since I was paying for her undergrad, she followed my rules. When she was getting ready to start grad school about 1.5 years ago, which she was paying for, she apparently went out and got a tattoo of a butterfly on her shoulder that's about the size of my fist. I didn't know about it until about 6 months ago when she finally mentioned it. I absolutely hate it. I think it's ugly and gross. The current situation. My daughter is moving back in with me and my mother to complete her internship that is required for her master's degree. I told her that when she's in the house, she has to wear clothing that covers the tattoo because I don't want to see it. She says that's not fair because it's very hot where we live, and she likes to wear tank tops and stuff. I said it's my house, so it's my rules, and she's welcome to find other living arrangements if she doesn't like it. I know that she cannot find other arrangements because the internship is unpaid, so she has no option except living with me for free. My mother doesn't really like tattoos either, but she hasn't said anything about this situation except to say that she's staying out of it. I think I might be the asshole because she's an adult who can make her own choices, but I cannot stand the tattoo, and I'm so disappointed that she made the choice to get one. So am I the asshole? I think you are being the asshole in this situation, simply because this is just a tattoo. Tattoos are very normalized in society. It's not like she's walking around the house naked. That would be a different situation. That would be a bit more extreme than what's going on in this story. But the simple fact it's a tattoo, lots of people have them, no one actually cares anymore. It's a butterfly, it's not a swastika, it's nothing offensive. You're forcing your beliefs on your 22-year-old daughter who has a life of her own now, and it doesn't matter if you're anti-tattoo or not, you are being an asshole in this situation. So yes, you're the asshole for this. Now in the comments, Trump's trucknut says, "You're the asshole. It may be your house, but it's not your body." Also, she's finishing up her master's. It sounds like she's got a good head on her shoulders and is intelligent. Why not be positive about that instead of being negative about her tattoos? To be honest, you're an adult. Act like it. It's not even an offensive tattoo, yet you're willing to kick your child to the curb over it. She's a grown woman in school trying to make something of herself, and all you see is a butterfly tattoo? You're the asshole. Also, something to contemplate. Which is bigger, your hatred of tattoos or your love for your daughter? Because one of those two things is going to shape your relationship with her. Your call on which one. Did I miss something where the tattoo is super offensive? OP's talking like that girl has a swastika or SS bolts or something. If not, calling a part of your daughter ugly and gross is a bit much. You're the asshole. And you're the asshole. Yeah, sure, it's your money and your house and all that good crap, but my god, woman, your daughter is not some auxiliary attachment of yours. She's going to have her own morals and values and wants, and you need to just get the hell over it. No one is making you get tattooed, but your daughter is an adult who is allowed to make her own choices. She shouldn't have to cover up in her place of living just because you're too sensitive. And OP doesn't even own the house. She lives with her mum, FFS. Our next post is by user NeglectedMother73, titled, "Am I the asshole for being upset my sisters kept my daughter's pregnancy a secret from me?" Hello Reddit. I came across this while on my quest to find answers as to why my oldest daughter behaves this way and feels the need to hurt her mother so deeply. My daughter and I have always had a complicated relationship ever since she was a child. She was often strong-willed, overly confident, and frequently in trouble with her teachers for being too social during class. We often had to teach her manners and reinforce good behavior while making sure she didn't grow up to be too arrogant. She has always suffered with mental health issues and has convinced herself of things that never actually happened. And when she married her husband and got pregnant with her first child, she suddenly told me she didn't want me visiting her anymore. I told her she had broken my heart, and I will give her what she wants then, which is space. When my grandchild was born, I found out and tried to initiate a relationship with my grandchild, but she always prevented it and kept them from me. She would send me elaborate Reddit posts claiming how abusive I was to her that bordered on dramatic and delusional. She never wanted to be a mother, I believe, and that's why she doesn't want me to know my grandchildren. After repeated letters and emails to my daughter, she kept ignoring me to hurt me. My heart is constantly broken, but I don't want her to think I'm not trying. It's been 6 years since she spoke with me, but friends and family usually update me on how she's doing. I found out through my ex-husband that my daughter is pregnant again. I was deeply hurt by this, as my sisters and mother were all aware, yet I wasn't told until after she'd already given birth to my grandson. I told my sisters that I'm deeply hurt that they contributed to hurting me and participating in activities designed to hurt me. I told them that they should have told my daughter that they wouldn't keep her pregnancy a secret and exclude her mother, since they would hopefully say that they love. One of my sisters told me I was some hurtful names and blocked me, while my other sister just ignored me. I told them both that I need to have boundaries then and not let them in my life to do things that hurt me. My mother told me some more hurtful things and that I am in the wrong. I don't think I am, and I genuinely don't understand where all this animosity towards me for just being a loving mother who tried her best came from. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I believe that I might have messed up with my sisters by expecting them to get involved in me and my daughter's relationship. You remind me of some of my family members, making yourself such a victim and glossing over so many facts. Everything you're writing is so incredibly vague. Why can't you be specific about situations? Why can't you tell us what these interactions were? Why can't you tell us what the Reddit posts were and what those entailed? All you're saying is, wow, she would send me elaborate Reddit posts claiming I was abusive. She was strong-willed, overly confident, and too social in class. What does that mean? Those are usually good qualities. How is that a bad thing? She's always suffered mental health issues and convinced herself that things never actually happened. What does that mean? Why do you think she doesn't want to be a mother? Why can't you be specific? Just for the fact that you suck at communication and you paint yourself to be a victim, Neglected Mother 73. This post is riddled with fabrication, lies, and shifting the blame onto others. I can genuinely see why your daughter wants nothing to do with you, so yes, you're the asshole. Now in the comments, CyberAce Kina says, the fact that you're not elaborating, you gloss over her mental health, and this entire post has more me's in it than a Nintendo Wii game is a glaring red flag that you're the asshole. Your grandkid's life is about them, not about you. Seriously, this reads like an entitled parents post. More me's than a Nintendo Wii game. Damn, I wish I was this clever. You're the asshole, OP. I can smell all these missing reasons from a mile. This post reads like it could have been written by my mother. My mother was abusive. Mine is a narcissist, and honestly, if it weren't for the fact that I don't have kids, I would seriously consider that she wrote this. Who Fears Death says, you're the asshole. Here's the thing. To all of us, this reads like a troll post because you are so obviously the asshole here. Even when you've done your best to sound like a normal person, we can all see straight through it to the insanity. I highly suggest you, or anyone with estranged parents, check out the missing reasons. You can literally just Google that, you will find what they're linking that to. And edit to add, just in case you're willing to read an excerpt, quote, the game of I don't understand what happened when you've been told in words what's wrong is really counterproductive. Yes, it permits you to shield your ego/self-esteem from criticism and exposure of your inadequacies in the relationship, but it loses you the relationship. In order to solve the problem, you have to decide what is more important to you. Your daughter and grandchildren, or your ego, and the belief that you were innocent of doing anything but little insignificant wrongs. It's very common, especially for people from abusive backgrounds who were not adequately nurtured as children, to stop protecting their egos. Way too threatening. And many, especially if they have other emotional outlets, such as a supportive spouse and friends, will choose ego over a relationship. It's easier and more comfortable, but ultimately very self-defeating and impoverishing. That's the same article I thought of while reading this post. Daughter told OP all the reasons OP was cut off, and OP just dismisses them as delusional. And your sisters and mother, do they also have delusional reasons for supporting your daughter's boundaries? Isn't it interesting how many people in your life are delusional? You're the asshole. It's so crazy to me because even though it was written years ago about someone else, it can be directly applied to OP, grandkid, and all. They really do just have the one playbook, don't they? Our next post is by user MamaBearIt33, titled, "Am I the asshole for calling my husband gross and banning him from bathing our son?" So me, female 27, and my husband, male 30, have an 8-month-old son together. He's such a blessing, but as new parents, we are fairly exhausted and are just trying to take it one day at a time. My husband helps, big time, and is super involved as a father, though he can be clueless at times when it comes to our son's care. I handle the big tasks like feeding, obviously, changing and bathing, while he handles cleaning up mess, rearranging sheets and blankets, and doing some cleaning on the side. Yesterday morning I went out to do some grocery shopping and left my husband with our son at home. Our son was sleeping, and I told my husband there wasn't much work required from, and I would be back in an hour, so he sat on the couch and checked his SM accounts. I came back an hour later, and once I entered the apartment, I heard my son cry loudly. I entered the kitchen quickly, and saw my husband placing our son inside the kitchen sink, and it looked like he was giving him a bath. I got mad seeing our son crying so loudly, and I asked my husband what the hell he was doing, and he said that he was trying to give our son a bath. I called him gross and grabbed a towel and removed our son from inside the sink. My husband asked what I was doing, and I lashed out, calling him gross to think that it's okay to bath our son in the kitchen sink and potentially harm him since there were glasses and sharp tools nearby. I told him it wasn't his job, and that he shouldn't have done it, and that he was banned from doing it again. He threw a fit, saying I'm treating him as less of a parent than me, and dictating how he bonds with our son. We got into a screaming match, and he called me controlling and selfish, and that as a father, he should do his fair share of our son's care. I straight up told him that his attitude wasn't in our son's best interest, and he should stop whining about what he gets and doesn't get to do, since I don't give him more than he can handle. He stormed off and is still sulking and ignoring me. Am I the asshole? Was I too hard on him? I don't get why you're so upset about bathing babies in a kitchen sink. That is a very normal thing. I was bathed in a kitchen sink. I feel like this could have been remedied by asking him why he's doing what he's doing and having him explain that to you, yet you chose to immediately assume his intentions were bad and scream at him for that, and then try to take away bonding experiences that your husband could be sharing with his son just because you feel like what you do is better for your son and that your husband doesn't do things that are right in your eyes. I'm suspecting none of your family did this beforehand, and you've never experienced it before, hence your reaction, which is understandable, but sit down and apologize and understand that this is a normal thing. I'm going with you're the asshole. And yeah, back to the post, OP says, I'm sorry, but I had no idea it was common to bathe babies in kitchen sinks. It's weird because literally none of my family did it. I now get why my husband said that it was normal. Now in the comments, Shankin Babies says, you're the asshole. Did you actually read this back to yourself? Kids have bathed in sinks forever. What's the issue here? If it's clean and his dad is giving him a bath, what is your actual problem? And edit, now that you appear to understand that you were very wrong in this situation, I really think you should go sit down with and apologize to your husband. You can't gatekeep his parents like that and fly off the handle. If this is an indication of how you're going to be interacting around your son, just save the time and money and go get divorced now. I can guarantee you if this attitude keeps up, he'll eventually just leave and fight for custody so he can be an active parent to his son rather than your personal housekeeper. What on earth? Yes, you're the asshole. Read the sub. So many parents upset that the other half isn't pulling the weight, and here you are gatekeeping parenting. You aren't the only one who can parent, including caring for your child's hygiene needs. Would you rather your husband let the baby sit in mess, potentially affecting skin and well-being? Kids for generations have been bathed in the sink, and even if your husband had not been aware of a small hazard nearby, there are many ways to raise this without going nuclear. Chill, reflect, apologize. Perhaps share the bathing for a while so you can both learn and grow as parents. Tiredness is not an excuse. However, if you're finding yourself blowing up regularly, being tearful, feeling irritable and anxious or low more often than not, you may benefit from seeing a doctor for support. And you're not the only one who can parent. This is the heart of the issue for me. You have no authority to ban your husband from giving his kid a bath. I would be furious if my husband tried to tell me that some parenting task wasn't my job. WTF, being the baby's parent is my job. If I'm ever off the clock for that, let me know and I'll go get a drink somewhere. Giving the baby a bath was 100% his job because it's his baby, and he determined that his baby needed a bath, while he was alone at home raising his baby. Our next post is by user ThrowRA titled, Am I the asshole for wanting my girlfriend and my brother to take turns on the bed while they're staying with me? Basically, my little brother, 19 male, is going to be staying with me, 25 male, and my girlfriend, 24 female, for a little while. We have one bed that's pretty big and comfy, and a crappy pull-out in the living room that no one wants to sleep on. I said, to be fair, she and him should take turns sleeping on the pull-out every other night, and the other one can sleep in the bed with me. My girlfriend doesn't like this idea, and says since she actually lives here, she shouldn't have to sleep on the pull-out when my brother is just a guest. But since it's my house, I think it's perfectly fair of me to decide on the sleeping arrangements. Now in the comments, SilentTal4158 says, You're the asshole. She lives there too. You're a complete asshole for even suggesting that she shouldn't get to sleep in what is her bed. I hope she breaks up with you. Do her a favor and break up with her. Let her find someone who will love her. Exactly. It's your brother, your guest. Why don't you sleep on the sofa? You're the asshole on so many levels. 1. I noticed that you've not offered any discomfort for yourself. 2. I can't even get my head around that you're thinking that it might be okay to put your girlfriend out of her own bed. 3. That your brother would be okay with this arrangement kind of makes me think that there's something seriously wrong with the parenting that went into raising you two. And 4. If my significant other ran this past me, I would pretty much be out looking for a new place to live that day. Yeah, I thought the same thing. As much of an asshole as OP is, what is wrong with this brother too? Who comes into someone else's home as a guest and expects to get the bed at the expense of someone who lives there. Something went wrong with these guys. And our next post is by user PerspectiveRude6933, titled, Would I be the asshole if I don't go to my daughter's wedding? About 10 years ago, a close friend of our daughter's came out as gay. This friend in particular slept over at our house so much that she was almost like a daughter to us. We even had a separate bed in our daughter's bedroom just for her. When we found out that she was gay, my husband and I had a discussion about whether we should continue to let her sleep in our daughter's bedroom or if we should move her to the guest bedroom. We were hesitant, but we had a conversation with our daughter, who was 17 at the time, and she told us that even if her friend tried anything, she would shut it down because she was straight. It made sense. We believed our daughter was trustworthy and responsible, and so we allowed the friend to continue sleeping in her room. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They finished senior year and went off to college. We never suspected anything. Every time they would come home for the holidays, my daughter brought a boy with her, and my daughter's friend brought a girl with her. Come to find out that the boy we thought our daughter was dating was actually dating the girl that we thought our daughter's friend was dating. And the way we found out is because one day I get an invitation in the mail to a wedding for our daughter and her friend. I was so confused. I called my daughter thinking there'd been some type of typo or something. No answer. I call the friend and I can barely ask, what's going on, before the friend breaks down crying and confesses that her and my daughter have been in a relationship for a decade, which was around the time we agreed to let her sleep in our daughter's room. My husband and I feel so betrayed. Our daughter gets on the phone and says, "Mom, Dad, I know you're upset, and I promise we'll talk after the wedding and I'll explain everything." I said, "Okay, we'll talk after the wedding." I hang up. The next day she calls me. I pick up and say, "Why are you calling me? I thought you didn't want to talk until after the wedding." And she said, "We are, but I wanted to know what times you're available so we could get measured for our dresses." And I said, "What do you mean, we? You don't think that your father and I are going to your wedding, do you? You lied to us for 10 years, for no reason, and you expect us to just automatically disregard that? We'll talk after the wedding." I haven't spoken to my daughter since then, and the wedding is sometime this month. My husband and I have been getting a lot of calls from family members on both sides telling us that we're being selfish for ruining our daughter's special day over something that happened 10 years ago. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. So the general consensus amongst the families seems to be that weddings are special days where you put all your differences and problems to the side, no matter what they are or how badly they hurt. So in that sense, my husband and I might be the asshole for not being the bigger people in this situation and pushing our feelings to the side. Now in the comments, you're the asshole. Set your feelings aside for the amount of time it takes to bask in the glory of what it's like to get your daughter ready for her wedding. Love on her, dote on her, praise her, and make her feel beautiful and loved. You and her father should be there for her through the process and at the wedding. Once the wedding, reception, and honeymoon are over, have them both come over to the house. Talk calmly and rationally, and tell them both that you were very hurt that they thought that they needed to hide their relationship from you, and that the only thing that it would have changed would have been the sleeping arrangements. Tell them they are both loved and both amazing girls, but that their behavior was unacceptable and you were very deeply hurt by it. Then go from there. But first, please, your daughter only gets one first time. First chance at love, first chance at happiness, first chance at a wonderful wedding, first chance at sharing the woman she loves with her parents on a very special day. You would hate yourself if, years down the line, you two had become close again and made amends and had not been to her wedding. Or worse, she would hate you, no matter how you validate your actions, and you two would grow apart and you would have an even emptier nest because she would never come back around. Just let her know that you are not mad that she's gay, you're mad that she thought she had to lie about it. Tell her she's loved. Tell her fiancé that she is loved. Tell them you are excited for them and you are deeply hurt and you are having troubles with conflict of emotions. This needs to happen before the wedding, not after it. If the daughter wants her parents' full involvement in and support of the wedding, she needs to grow up and talk to them about why she's been lying to them for a decade. Exactly. This is not on OP to solve. If those liars want her parents there, they've got a lot of apologizing to do. My question is why she felt that she needed to lie for a decade. I'm not condoning the lying, but OP needs to look at why the daughter felt she couldn't be honest with her parents. I wouldn't even assume the parents were owed an apology until after the why is answered. But it's so odd. Daughter's girlfriend came out and they kept having her over like a member of the family, even overnight. They only considered moving her to a guest room, not no longer having her around all the time. And they didn't even do that when the daughter said she was straight. They just didn't want teens who might hook up have sleepovers in the same room, which is fair, I think. They continued to treat this young woman like a daughter for years. OP's daughter would visit with this gay friend and her fake girlfriend for years and years, and OP and husband kept hosting them. It's just hard for me to assume that OP is homophobic or something to explain this. They included this woman, OP's secret partner, for over a decade in their family, knowing she was gay when they didn't have to. Much more than most people include their friends' kids. You're right. But I do want to point out that many, many queer people have had the experience of their parents being tolerant and even supportive of queer friends and extended family friends, and then having them behave completely different when it's their own kid that's gay. It's sadly much more common than you think. Not the asshole. She lied to you for 10 years. Not only lied, but actually made stuff up and had random guys coming to your house pretending to be her other half. Lies, lies, and more lies is all you have got, so I completely understand why you don't want to go. Ah, yes, someone who's never dealt with this. There's a reason she didn't think she could be honest with her parents. There's a reason they're refusing to go to the wedding, and no, it's not teenagers lying and hiding things because they all do. She knew or feared what their reaction would be, and she was right. Everyone sucks here. Your daughter pulled a major no-no by informing you of her sexual preference via a wedding invitation, okay? That was bad. And she could have not deliberately lied to you and involved 3 other people in it multiple times. For one reason or another, she just didn't feel safe to reveal that part of herself to you. Can you look back objectively and think how you would have reacted if she had told you? But no matter, because here is the thing. Your daughter will hopefully only have one wedding, and you need to be there. Let your anger, hurt, and pride go, and be there to love and support your daughter and her partner, if only to make up for all those years that she felt you wouldn't have if she had revealed her true self to you. If you miss it, you'll regret it, so yes, you would be the asshole, and a sad one at that. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.